a quiet June night in 2002, in an affluent suburb of Salt Lake City, settled into the ordinary rituals of sleep. Lights dimmed, doors locked, the regular traditions of a family turning in for the night. 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart opened her eyes to see a man standing in a room that she shared with her sister. The man was not a stranger. In fact, he knew exactly where he was going. Elizabeth's sister went to their parents to tell them that a man had taken Elizabeth. What followed would become one of the most harrowing and closely watched kidnapping cases in modern American history. This, Georgia Love, is a harrowing case of Elizabeth Smart.
I've seen that there's a doco on Netflix about this and I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, great. Okay, you are in for an absolute doozy. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Not Another Crime Podcast.
I'm Georgia Love.
I'm Sammy Peterson.
I'm a journalist.
I am not. But I'll tell you what, if you want to skip ahead and just listen to the story, the time codes are in the show notes. And I'll tell you another little thing. We are recording a spontaneous podcast today.
Well, yes, for the listeners, it's not spontaneous.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Regularity is good for you. Yeah, the
That's
routine.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, correct. Because I'm very bad at keeping my calendar, and I'm particularly bad at...
As you showed me before, you're going to 5 in May.
Yeah, and I can't remember
who you're going with.
I can't remember who with.
It's nice that you know you're going to a concert.
I had a memory that I might be going to see 5, so I searched the word in my calendar, and I am going.
The band, not just 5 things.
Yeah, well, probably going to 5 things the
Probably.
same day because I forgot I was going there and I don't know who I'm going with.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you're listening to this and I'm going with you,
just let me know.
Alex, I think
comment
it
below.
might be you. Please comment below.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Correct.
To let me know where I'm going.
But yeah, I'm really bad at putting things in my diary if they're booked really far in advance. But somehow there's a musical I'm going to that I put in twice on 2 different dates.
Right.
So I thought I was going to it tonight. Turns out I'm not. I'm not going for 2 weeks. So I had a spontaneous night off. You didn't. You had a gig.
I had a gig.
But you got home at 9 p.m. and said, why don't you come on damn over?
Why don't you come on damn over? We'll record a podcast episode because I've written a couple of episodes with cases that I've seen recently that I've been really kind of mesmerised by. Wow. And I will say before how I mispronounced mesmerised was nothing on the intro, which you didn't hear. Maybe I'll put it in here. But I couldn't pronounce Elizabeth. I think I said Elizabeth. So I'll play that here so you know the blooper. This, Georgia Love, is the harrowing case of Elizabeth. Some of the hilarious bloopers that we take out of the podcast. I had a gig tonight and then I was like, hey, let's record a goddamn podcast.
Hey, how was the gig?
Fine.
Okay.
It wasn't amazing. It was just there's a certain thing I think in when I stopped doing stand-up for 6 years. And then when I came back, I went, if I ever feel that unfit for stage again, it is the scariest thing to do. So I promised myself that I would just do 1 gig a week and I would always kind of keep up that fitness. It's like exercise. If you just kind of keep moving and do something, you work that muscle and you're not worried at all. Like someone calls out, I like crowd work, so I'm fine with that. Yeah, but first going back into it was terrifying. And so I was like, I'll just do it once a week. And so someone offered me these 2 gigs, unpaid 2 gigs. I got a parking ticket. Unpaid 2 gigs in Collingwood. It's a great little place. It's an absolute bunker of a place. Like it's down 2 flights of stairs. No, well, it's down 2 flights of stairs, but it kind of feels like an American. Like I imagine an American. You haven't been to America, but I imagine like a New York club. And so you walk down these 2 flights of stairs, and it's like this little bunker, and there's just it's always like backpackers there. It's really interesting because I think it kind of feels like a cool, like different comedy club or a comedy club that they're used to. And it was so funny because it wasn't huge, but I always, if I can, I'll go and watch all the comedians on before me.
Yeah.
But none of the other comedians did that. Oh. So all of them asked where the front row were from, and they were all from England.
No.
And halfway through the third guy asking, I wanted to go. They're all from the UK.
Yeah, and just listen to the people before you.
It was pretty embarrassing actually for not that many people there. But yeah, it was fine.
Did you make a joke about that when you went on then?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
Yeah. And I just kept saying to my friends from Brazil, and they laughed every time. Yeah,
they
bit of
laughed
fun
every time.
And that's showbiz, baby. The old razzle dazzle.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go back to New York this year because, that's
2026.
that's the end of the sentence anyway.
Yeah.
But they announced today
Yeah.
that the new cast of Little Shop of Horrors, which is one of our faves.
Oh, it's so good.
Andy Carl, who is a Broadway legend, but has also performed in 2 shows right here in little old Australia, Groundhog Day and Beetlejuice. And he has been cast as the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors.
He's born to
in New
play
York.
that role.
We watched the movie recently, and watching it, we were like, Andy Carl needs to play this.
Yeah, yeah. He's got the comic timing, and also like he just looks like that kind of character with a leather jacket. I can just see him doing it. But it's so cool. Like, not because he's a monster dentist, I will say that.
I don't think he's even a dentist at all.
Oh, really? Not even qualified. And you can play the role?
Yes.
Interesting. I guess the plant might not even be a real plant. Do you know who's playing Audrey 2?
Audrey 2 is a plant.
Ah, they're getting a real plant for it.
Yes.
A fern. They're getting a fern.
A lady named
How
Fern.
exciting. A beautiful lady
That's
named
right.
Fern. Oh, but that's so fun. So you're planning on going back to New York just to see Andy Carl. Can
That's
I say
the
this?
excuse. It's not ever just for one thing, but that's going to be the excuse.
Can I say this? Because we went to go and see Beetlejuice, the musical, when Eddie Perfect
Correct.
was on, and Andy Carl was in the audience watching.
Yes.
And you introduced me to Andy Carl, and he couldn't have been more down to earth and nice.
He's so
and I thought,
lovely.
like, kind of, I don't know, there's something about like an American star where, especially a Broadway star, where you're like, oh, they might be a bit intense or a bit like, or maybe he just kind of wants to just talk to the famous people in the room or something.
Oh,
but
he was
so
lovely.
lovely, like a really down to earth, nice guy.
And then we saw him again at Tim Minchin.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah, of course.
I had a good chat then.
Oh,
my
he's
God.
so nice.
It will never not blow my mind that a Broadway star
Yes.
has just chats to me.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
Imagine if Meryl Streep did that as well.
She does.
From the famous musical, Meryl Streep, the musical.
The movie
Yep.
musical.
Good, that's good improv. Don't worry about it. It might be late, but we're firing on all cylinders over
I
here.
think we're doing really well.
I think we're doing a great
I
job.
think we're going to keep doing really well.
Yep.
We've got our Jans, and one of my friends who listens to the pod said to me today, sometimes I can tell when you're drinking Jans because I can hear when she goes, I can't hear the burp, but I can hear mid-sentence when you kind of go and like stop a bit. I was like, well, it's actually a carbonated drink.
It's actually a carbonated drink. But yeah, so this documentary, right, so the Elizabeth Smart documentary, which I just watched recently, I've been I don't know what it is, but I think the Lucy Letby documentary that we spoke about has just come out, and the Elizabeth Smart one. Elizabeth Smart was not someone, and we always talk about this, that we don't know all the crimes. We can't know all the crimes. But Elizabeth
But we
Smart...
will after a few more years of this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. But this story in particular was something that I was surprised not to know about.
I don't know about it either.
Yeah.
And my friend Franny, who's obsessed with true crime, messaged me the other day going, I'm watching the Elizabeth Smart documentary, but I'm not loving it. I think I just know the case too well.
Yes,
and I went,
okay.
oh, that's interesting. So it must. Oh God, this is going to be one of those embarrassing ones where
Ed Gein
we say
ones.
we don't know it.
Well,
and
that's the
everyone
thing though. There's so many different crimes that I think
Yeah.
you and I have been fascinated with over the years, and you know, like when you did Peter Dupas and you know, and the Joe Cinque episode for me, it's like it's you have these episodes that you go, oh, I'll do that one because I know about that one. I'll do this one.
They
I know
just
about.
stick in your mind.
They
for
stick
some
in your
reason.
mind, and everyone has one of those. And I kind of think when we go through this story, Elizabeth Smart is definitely one of those for a lot of people. Yeah.
Well, one of the stories that we've done before, there's actually been an update on.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes. So the episode was titled "The Wood Chipper Murder."
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
So a man.
We were very excited on that episode because you just got back from New York City and we were chit-chatting away. And look, we got lots of complaints on that episode about how chit-chatty we were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's
right.
fine.
But
we had a good time on that episode.
Go back and listen if you haven't.
Yeah.
So a man named, this is an Australian case,
Yeah.
Bruce Saunders
Yes.
was murdered by his, here we go.
He was in a love triangle.
It was in a love triangle. He didn't particularly know that he was.
Yeah.
His fiance and / kind of ex, she says they had split up.
Yes.
She was stringing him along. Her name was Sharon, and she was with another man called Gregory Rosa.
Yep.
Gregory Rosa and his friend murdered Bruce and put his body through a wood chipper to
Yep.
make it look like it had been a terrible industrial accident.
Such a brutal and horrifying death. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
Well, Gregory Rosa was sentenced to life in prison, but appealed the sentence. Or actually, appealed the conviction.
Right.
The appeal grounds were that his lawyers argued that...
He didn't want to go to jail?
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So he and Sharon were tried separately, and his argument was that they shouldn't have been tried separately because then that negatively impacted his trial because Sharon had been found guilty.
Take the heat off. Oh, right. Okay, sure. Yeah.
And just this week, at the time of recording, the appeals court went, nah. So he's officially going to spend life in prison.
Oh, wow, and good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
wow. Good. Okay. That's really interesting. And also the Phillip Island murder. Oh, there's been no real update there on nothing.
There has been an update. There's no final answer. The update is, and so if you haven't heard when we discussed this before, a skull and vertebrae were found in a backyard in Phillip Island.
Yes, yeah.
That we got very excited that might be the body or the remains of Vivian Cameron. That episode is called The Phillip Island Murder, if you want to go back and listen to that. Police have said that the forensic testing on the remains is still ongoing.
Yes.
But they do not believe it's linked to, quote, any active missing persons cases.
Yes, yeah.
Which is interesting. You know what? I've been thinking about it since. Is Vivian Cameron an active missing persons case? Because haven't they ruled that?
Yeah, I guess she's not.
Suicide?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've just realised this.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they didn't stop anyone from talking about it. I don't know. We can't get too into this because who knows? But it would be really interesting. We have to have Vicky Petratus on to talk about it, who wrote the book with Paul Delaney, The Phillip Island Murder. It's just called that, and it's fascinating. And I've had a few conversations with Vicky in the last few weeks.
There's been another thing in the news today. So we haven't discussed this before because it hasn't been considered a crime yet.
Yeah.
A 4-year-old boy in South Australia called Gus Lamont went missing back in September. He was at a family, like a rural property, a sheep farm with family members, and he wandered off and went missing. There's been extensive searches and no trace of him has been found at all. Just today, so that was in September.
Yeah.
Now in January, police have revealed that they do believe there was foul play.
Oh, wow.
And that the owner of that property is their one and only suspect. Now, it's not the parents. They were very, very, very clear that the parents had no involvement, but a family member is their one and only suspect.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
fascinating.
When we
or
if we find out more about that, we'll keep you updated. But I just thought if anyone, our listeners know that from the news or anything, that was a big story today because they were really adamant earlier saying it's not.
Wow.
We don't think there's been any foul play, but today they've said yes, there was.
Oh my God. And sorry, I'm just going to stop because as we were doing this, we've had a speak pipe come through from someone we know, and also I wanted to do this before we actually really get into the podcast today because we always do mailbag at the end. I think that's great, but I just want to kind of read a couple of things just quickly because I really kind of love this that came in from someone called Vilma that came in late today. And I just wanted to read this. Okay. Hi, Sammy and Georgia. After recently discovering your podcast from the ep Sammy did on Miss New Potty, I can confirm I am obsessed. Oh. Much like Miss previous Bang On, it feels like I'm having a vino with my mates. Oh. Your friendship is electric and brings such lightness to heavy topics. I just listened to your Joe Cinque episode. Being from Canberra, I was drawn to it immediately to provide a take on the title of Helen Garner's book, which was Joe Cinque's Consolation. Yes. I think Joe's Consolation is the book itself. With all the media focus on Anu in her state of mind, the book sheds light on Joe and his family and ensures he's known and not forgotten. And I absolutely love that. I love that as a piece. Yeah. A small consolation in a senseless act. Thanks for giving me something new to obsess over, Vilma. I love Vilma as a name.
So that's a beautiful name.
Yeah, I won't say the last name, but beautiful full name. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm not saying that people don't have full names, but don't at
Madonna
me.
Doesn't.
Don't at me for that.
Adele doesn't.
Actually, you're right.
Pink doesn't.
So before we get in,
Five doesn't.
God, you're right. Well, because this person we just spoke about, so I thought it'd be really funny that they've actually sent in a speak pipe an hour ago. This is someone that you know very
funny?
well. No.
Hello, Sammy and
It's
Georgia.
Alex.
It's Alex, friend here, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh my God.
Keep up the great work. I love listening to your 2 episodes each week. Usually when I'm riding to work or from work or out in the garden when I'm doing some watering like I am doing right now. I just finished listening to an episode in your Poetry Peeve, Georgia, where you complained about not being able to complete an electronic declaration and that you have to use the pen and paper.
Yes.
I've got some good news for you. I recently came back from an overseas trip in Palau and was pleased to see on the Qantas app I could complete a customs declaration. You then take a screenshot of it and then use that when you are coming back through customs. So something you probably weren't aware of and you'll be excited to be able to use when you next travel. Speak to you both soon. Bye.
Oh my God, Alex, I love you.
Isn't that
Could you
great?
please leave another speak pipe and let me know if I'm going to 5 with you, please.
Can you let me know my plans over the next few weeks? I want to say as well, before we get into it, because also if you want to leave a beautiful speak pipe for us, a voicemail, we would absolutely love that. The link is below to do that, or you can write in, like Vilma did, to sammy@justanothercompany.com.au. We will do the mailbag at the end, but I thought that was fun to do those at the front.
Oh my God, that's great. How funny that I brought up Alex.
I know.
And then he had left it. I also love that he didn't just text me that.
I know. Well, no, I thought that was funny because because we had to reschedule dinner with him next week.
I've texted him 2
I know,
minutes
and I thought it
before
might have been a
we
message about that. That's why I was like, anyway, so Alex is a beautiful friend of yours.
Yes.
And Alex, I've never really hung out with one-on-one before.
Until
Alex came over here to check out my new place and was so like lovely and supportive about it. He brought Diggs a Christmas gift and like me a housewarming gift. And it was just so nice. And Alex is just one of those people that you just like, you immediately just like them. You're just like, you're drawn to them. He's beautiful. He's so funny as well. And just like the loveliest person around.
Can I tell a great Alex story?
Yeah.
So I had New Year's Eve at his house.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of his friends who we were talking about Halloween.
Yes.
And his friend is a gay guy, and I was talking to him about Halloween and said, what did you dress up as? And then I showed him a picture of my costume. And I didn't say what it was. I just showed him the picture.
Yes.
And he didn't know what it was. And I dressed up as...
Frankenstein.
No, that was you.
Oh, that was me. I'm so sorry.
I dressed up as Nicole Scherzinger as Norma Desmond in the Broadway remake of Sunset Boulevard. So very niche, but I thought, this is my audience.
Yeah.
He didn't know, and I went, oh, no, I'm so disappointed. And then he said, whose party was it? And I named the friends whose party it was, who were all gay guys, very kind of big in the Melbourne scene, do, drag shows. And I was like, listing off the names. And
Julian
I said,
Clary.
Not Julian Clary.
Just Julian Clary.
No, Thomas Jaspers, Carl Manel. No, do you know Joel Creasy? No. And I went, well, I was like, oh, Granny Bingo. You'll know Granny Bingo. And he's like, no. And I said, oh, you and I move in very different gay circles. And Alex was walking past and heard just that sentence and stopped and said to me, gee, how many times do I have to tell you you're not a gay man?
So funny. He showed me some of the funniest videos of that night as well.
Yeah, I had a little mentee bee. Well, no, I had a huge, big mentee bee that day during the afternoon. And then went to his house that night and was just a little bit drained from my big mentee bee. And it was only maybe midnight. And I was like, you know what? I think I'll go home. My friend was driving, and so I was like, I'll go with her. And Alex's partner, my other very good friend Eugene, said, no, he was like, no, don't go. Oh, no, sorry. Alex was saying, don't go. And Eugene disappeared. And I started packing up my stuff. Yeah. And Eugene had left to put on the Chicago soundtrack, knowing exactly what would happen.
Draw you right back in.
And so Eugene and I performed, like full-blown performed, 4 different numbers from Chicago. And my friends were videoing me saying she was literally leaving 2 minutes ago and was on the couch having a full-blown anxiety attack 3 hours ago.
What I love about it as well is you get quite angry in a lot of the videos when people aren't doing the right choreography. That's in your head. Yeah.
Well, because my best friend Arba, he and I have we've known each other for so long, our brains have like synced up. So there have been
Yes.
multiple times that we've been, again, like that, performing for our friends, and we'll just look at each other and know exactly what we're going to do next. And we've
You're
done
right.
like lifts and dips and
Yeah.
stuff without ever practicing them or discussing them. So I thought that Eugene would be the same, but
Apparently not.
unfortunately his soulmate is in fact Alex, not me.
Now, we're going to get into the episode this week, but I just want to say quickly, I've said, how to contact us, but another great thing is follow us on the social medias, Not Another Crime Podcast.
On TikTok, Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
And please leave us a 5-star review
Yep.
and a 5-star rating. The best thing is on Spotify, you can actually comment
Yeah.
and engage with us on
We love
every
that.
single episode.
Yeah, we love that. The nice ones we love. But also, it's Oliver Clark's birthday today. When we're recording this, he does the theme song for this podcast. Tamsin Hayes does the artwork. We are very excited. We love doing this bloody podcast.
Can I say happy birthday to Oliver in the style of Oliver?
Of course.
Happy birthday to you.
That's very good.
Was
It
that
also
it?
just
Was
sounds
that
like you're doing a newsreader voice.
No, that would be happy birthday to you.
That's great as
A
well.
little bit the same.
You ready for this?
Yeah, can I top up my jam?
Of course you can, yeah.
I'll top up yours as well.
They say danger announces itself, that it crashes through doors, raises its voice, leaves unmistakable signs behind. But some of the most devastating crimes do the opposite. They arrive quietly in familiar spaces and disappear before anyone understands what has occurred. Elizabeth Smart was taken from under their noses, from her own home, from a room where she should have been the safest, from a family sleeping just feet away. There was no dramatic chase, no immediate alarm, only the slow, dawning realization that a child was gone. By the time the house woke up to the absence, the moment to stop, it had already passed. What followed was a search filled with fear, urgency, anger, and unanswered questions, shadowed by unbearable truth that the crime had occurred not in isolation, but in plain proximity to those who loved her most. What more could have been done? This is a story of how a life can be stolen without warning, how evil can move silently through ordinary spaces. In fact, maybe the evil person is known. And how a girl was taken, not from some distant place, but from right there under their noses. This case was defined by brazen cruelty, haunting near misses, and a family's strength that would later rewrite the story. It's the moment the unthinkable happened. Through the long, agonising months that followed, months punctuated by hope, dread, and a series of cliff-edge turns that repeatedly suggested the truth was just one step away, and then snatched it back again. The Smart family home sat in a leafy Salt Lake City neighbourhood, comfortable, safe, and unremarkable.
Can I just say, you've been writing some really beautiful
Oh.
intros to your stories lately.
Thank you so much
I
for
always
saying
just start
that.
with, so-and-so was born in rah, rah, rah. You've been writing really beautiful
I'm trying
intros.
harder
No.
for love. Georgia
Georgia
love.
love.
Yeah, that's right. In the safest way security often is. Elizabeth Smart was 14 years old at the time. Bright, musical, conscientious. Conscientious.
Nearly.
Her family went to bed on the 4th of June 2002, expecting nothing more than routines of a weekday morning.
Can I just ask, just because I'm trying to kind of just put in my mind, you said they're from Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Are they Mormon or?
They are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometime after 2 a.m., a man entered the house. He carried a knife.
Oh.
He knew where he was going. Elizabeth was sleeping. Okay. Elizabeth was sleeping in a bedroom she shared with her younger sister.
We do have a friend called Elizabeth that everyone calls Bam.
Yeah,
so
I'm
you're
just not used to saying
you're
it.
not used to saying Elizabeth.
She lived with her younger sister, Mary Catherine. What happened next will be remembered in fragments. Terror whispers the cold certainty of a threat. The intruder pressed the knife to Elizabeth and told her he would kill her family if she made a sound. She froze. He ordered her to come with him. Mary Catherine, half awake, witnessed the unthinkable. Her sister being taken in the dark by a stranger who seemed to vanish into the night. It seemed unbelievable. The door closed. Silence returned. And the clock kept ticking. By the time anyone realised Elizabeth was even missing, the darkness had already swallowed her footsteps. Whatever chance there was to stop this had slipped silently into the night. Corey Lyman, a police captain, got the call. He thought that a kidnapping in Federal Heights, where they were, would be solved really quickly. It was very uncommon and just not a thing that ever happened. Federal Heights is a very affluent place, a place that is described in the Netflix documentary as a place you just wouldn't think crime happened. Corey thought that Elizabeth would be returned within 48 hours. When Corey arrived at the scene, it was both ordinary and catastrophic. There was no obvious signs of forced entry, no ransom note, no witnesses beyond a traumatised child. There was a chair outside that had been propped up against a window. So did someone break in? Well, investigators started to think that maybe this was all staged.
Oh.
Mary Catherine told officers that what she had seen, a tall man, long hair, a beard, wearing a robe.
Thank God that she was there. I assume they're sharing a bedroom. Thank God she was, to at least be able to.
Yeah.
It's reminding me a little bit of Eloise Wallage, that we've done a story. Well, Mal Walden was one of our guests and told that story, and that's a local Melbourne one.
Sure.
A girl went missing from her bedroom in the middle of the night and has never been found.
Yeah.
And, part of the reason of that is because no one saw anything. So I'm hoping, foreshadow, but I'm hoping this has a better ending than that.
Well, the interesting thing as well is she saw it, but then she just froze because what do you do? It's so little thing.
But at least she, was able to say, a man came into the bedroom. Exactly. At least that's a start. So straight away, they're not looking at it as that she's run away or something.
No. But also, the dad kind of thought at the time, is this just a nightmare?
Oh, no.
So they're searching for her, but kind of going, maybe it was just a nightmare. Who knows? No. So the man who was in the room spoke in a very soft but commanding voice, and he had a knife. This is what Mary Catherine told the police. The description was unsettling and vague. With no physical evidence and only a child's terrified memory, investigators were sprinting after a shadow, one that may already have crossed a line they could never reach. Police received about 40,000 tips right away.
Sorry, how many?
40,000 tips.
Oh, my God.
They assembled a team of hundreds of investigators. They interviewed teachers, friends, and everyone they could think of. Search teams mobilised immediately.
Do you know what kind of tips, like that they'd seen her or that there's this
dobbing people in.
Area?
Yeah, exactly. Right, dobbing people in and everything. How are you meant to
go through 40,000 and work out what...
And also wild. It's a thing if you see something, say something, but not if you just see something. Yeah. Saw a car. That's not. Yeah. That's it. And it would be really hard because it's maybe people are trying their best to go, I did see something, but it might not be connected. And that's the resourcing alone. Canvassers went door to door. Roadblocks were established. Helicopters scanned nearby foothills. Foothills, if you don't know, it's just a term that always comes up in this story. Foothills, if you don't know, are low hills at the base of a mountain or mountain range.
I always kind of just thought it meant the bottom of a mountain.
Yeah, I think the base, but the start of a mountain, it might be just a small mountain that then becomes a large mountain, I think. Yeah. The Smart family had a good reputation, and so neighbours all came to their aid very quickly to aid in the search. Investigators focused on one crucial detail. The intruder appeared to know the layout of the house. That suggested prior contact. Mary Catherine knew that she recognised the man's voice, but she just couldn't place it. It would be a long time before the truth would reveal itself and Mary would know exactly who this person was. But would it all be too late? But gee, I've kind of started in the thick of it today. We need to step back to really look at the Smart family, and particularly Elizabeth Smart.
Were you using that as a proper noun or as an adjective? Oh, no, as a verb. Are they a smart? No, not a verb. An adjective.
You know what? Whatever you're doing is great.
Are they a smart family?
By name and by nature.
Nice.
Elizabeth Smart was born on November 3rd, 1987 in Salt Lake City, Utah. She was born into a loving Mormon family who took a lot of pride in their Mormon beliefs, and it was a big family too. Elizabeth was the second eldest child of 4 brothers and 1 sister. So 6 children all up. You can actually see in the documentary, which I quite like, the documentary that was recently released on Netflix. And there's a great family photo of all the Smart family. Mormon families are always quite big, but this one was quite nice to see. Like, you know, they look like they're quite a bit of character, these people. You can kind of see their personalities coming through.
I'm being so good in not quoting Book of Mormon right now. Just wanted to say
Save yourself. You do it later. Elizabeth, so each of the children were loved by Ed and Lois Smart. They were each cared for equally, with each child loved just as much as the next. Aww. No favourites here, Georgia Love.
No, I don't believe that. They always say if your parents says they don't have a favourite, it just means it's not you.
That's a Fiona Loughlin joke.
Oh, is it? Mm. Oh my God! I've always just known that joke.
Yeah, it's she says exactly that. It's If she says you're not a favourite, you know that means it just wasn't you.
Yeah.
But I'm not all bad. I really am not all bad. I've got a favourite child. That's nice, isn't it? That freaks people out because mothers have this policy line, you know, we don't have any favourites. We love you all the same. Oh, my God. That's not actually true. Say your mum said that to you. So, you know, she said to you that she didn't have any favourites. She loved you all the same. Well, it pretty much just meant you weren't it.
Oh, I was my mum's favourite. It's all right because Katie's my dad's
Cac's
favourite.
listening.
So.
You're my favourite, Cac.
Hey,
she did that. After that big blow. At 14, Elizabeth was looking forward to her middle school graduation from Bryant Middle School and moving into East High School in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. Sorry.
Beautiful though, Georgia Love.
I had to do one.
She was sporty, musical. She played the harp.
Oh, wow.
And a much-loved person at school. She was a pretty picture-perfect 14-year-old. She was pretty quiet and reserved. She had a small group of tight-knit friends and wasn't a member of any chat rooms or the online world at all. She kind of stayed away from that where she might meet someone nefarious. So that was kind of, that was she couldn't have met someone online. It couldn't have been someone in a chat room. Also, she didn't have a boyfriend. It seemed bizarre that Elizabeth would be the target of such a crime. Was it someone close to home or perhaps a robbery gone horribly wrong? Maybe Elizabeth saw the person's face and they had to take her so that she wouldn't identify them. Now let's kind of meet the family really quickly here. We've got Ed Smart, Elizabeth's father.
Great name, Ed Smart.
So good. So short and snappy. A former real estate agent and mortgage broker who became a public advocate for missing persons safety after his daughter's abduction. Oh. We've got Lois Smart. Lois is now a speaker and author who was drawn on her family's experiences to raise awareness about child safety and trauma recovery.
Oh God, none of this is giving away whether she was found or not.
I know.
I feel nervous.
But at this stage of the story, she was a stay-at-home mother who cared for 6 children and lived the ways of the Mormon life. Charles Smart is Elizabeth's older brother. He has really maintained a really private life, much like Andrew Edward Jr. Smart, William Smart, and of course Mary Catherine, who was the younger sister who shared the room with Elizabeth.
Okay, I'm going to say something here.
Yep.
You said there were no favourites. One of the children
I know. Well, the father's favourite, not the mother's. Mary Catherine was Elizabeth's younger sister who played a pivotal role, an heroic role in this case. She later identified her sister's abductor's voice to investigators.
Right, yep.
It was a familiar voice to her. There was a lot of pressure on her to remember the name, which she later spoke out about.
And how old was she at the time?
She was 9.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that's
so young. In the early hours of June 5th, 2002, Mary Catherine, who shared a room with Elizabeth, would make her way into her parents' bedroom. She walked over to her mum, Lois's side, and woke her up saying, "Mum, somebody has taken Elizabeth."
Oh, God.
Both parents first didn't understand the severity of the situation as Ed started searching the girl's room. They were brushing it off at first, thinking perhaps Mary Catherine was having a nightmare. Lois soon came down with Mary Catherine a few moments later, so Ed was kind of searching downstairs, where she said that they wouldn't find her and that a man had taken her. So while they're searching, Mary Catherine says that. How heartbreaking.
Oh, God.
They then turned on the light in the kitchen and saw the kitchen window had been opened and the fly screen had been sliced.
Oh, God.
Large enough for someone to fit through. That's exactly when they realised what Mary Catherine was saying was true.
Oh, God, you can't even imagine.
My God. Police were called immediately and the neighbourhood was locked down as officers focused on the immediate area. When they arrived at the home, they noticed a damaged window screen that had been cut with a knife. Beneath the window were actually 2 chairs. So you kind of see a photo, and it's usually just 1 chair in the photo, but it was 2 chairs placed back to back, positioned to give an intruder enough height to actually climb into the kitchen.
How terrifying.
It was a brazen break-in. Investigators were struck by the audacity of someone was entering a home with 6 people inside.
Yes.
As a result, attention initially turned inward. Could Elizabeth's parents, Ed and Lois, have been involved? And if so, what possible motive could there be? No DNA was recovered. There were no usable fingerprints. Search dogs tracked Elizabeth's scent from their house to the woods behind it.
It's always the goddamn woods.
But when the trail ran kind of abruptly ended, it raised the possibility that maybe she was taken in a vehicle from the back of the house. There were later suggestions that the crime scene may have been contaminated, though little detail has ever been publicly clarified.
Because of people searching.
Straight away, yeah, and not really making, the proper precautions in this case.
It's so hard not to do that because, of
I know.
course, you've got to go looking, but then, it can, I suppose, contaminate.
Exactly. And if you've got
Tracks and
dogs in
stuff.
there and everything, it's just going to, no offense, Diggs, but yeah.
He
Computers.
would actually never be offended by anything.
No, he just loves. Computers were seized from the home and investigators conducted an exhaustive search. Due to the overwhelming stress, devastation and the psychological toll of being considered a suspect while his daughter was missing, Ed Smart was actually admitted to a psychiatric ward in a hospital for a period of time.
He was considered a suspect.
Yeah. He described shaking uncontrollably and crying throughout the night due to distress.
Oh.
In the end...
Oh, hang on, I'm saying, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, in the end, the only direct evidence came from the single witness, Elizabeth's younger sister, Mary Catherine,
So why were they considering the dad a suspect?
because they thought it
could've-
was an inside thing.
And
Yeah.
Dad, I suppose, could have told her to say that. Or
Yeah, exactly. And they weren't taking that as the only thing. She was also interrogated, poor Mary Catherine.
Oh.
She told investigators a consistent story, though. She said she woke to find a man creeping into their bedroom. Terrified, she froze and pretended to be asleep. She watched as the intruder approached Elizabeth and threatened her with what she initially believed was a gun, but later identified as a knife. He warned her not to make a sound and to come with him. He then led Elizabeth out of the room. Moments later, they were gone. Only then did Mary Catherine wake her parents. Hers was the sole eyewitness account of what happened in the room that night. Police asked Mary Catherine whether she recognised the intruder's voice. She said she couldn't identify him visually. The room had been far too dark, but she did recognise the voice. It was familiar to her, though she couldn't place kind of where she knew it from. A reward of $250,000 was offered for any information leading to Elizabeth's return, and police were convinced this was not a ransom attack. So, ransom attack or indeed a random attack. You know, like they hadn't left a ransom note, or
But
like
they knew that someone knew
knew that
the
someone
layout
knew
of the
them.
house.
Investigators moved quickly, knowing the first 72 hours were critical. With every hour that passed, the risk to Elizabeth being found dead increased.
Oh, God.
The community response was overwhelming. Nearly 1,800 people joined the search.
Wow.
And the case soon drew international attention. So the family and the community were very loved and everything, and everyone just kind of rallied around and went, this doesn't happen in Federal Heights, we're all going out to search at once. Police began by eliminating the most immediate suspects, the parents. Ed Smart became the initial focus. One of the first detectives on the scene noted the absence of scuff marks on the wall near the window. marks that would typically be expected if someone had actually climbed in inside and kind of dragged their body a bit inside.
Oh, so maybe the chair was placed there as a ruse.
Exactly, yeah. This raised an unsettling question. Was the break-in actually staged? Attention then turned to Ed's brothers, Dave and Tom. Dave passed a polygraph test. Tom, however, drew suspicion after making what some perceived as odd comments to the media, reporting...
Sorry, is this one Elizabeth's brothers?
No, these are Ed's brothers.
Oh, right.
So her
Elizabeth's
uncles. Yes.
Okay.
Repeatedly calling Elizabeth a sweet girl and emphasising how much he loved her. To the outsiders, his behaviour seemed unusual. Tom later explained that he hadn't slept for days and was under extreme stress. So he just kind of focused on Elizabeth a lot in that, and it was just a bit weird the way it was going. She's such a sweet girl, and
because she's a 14-year-old, like calling her beautiful all the time,
yes,
sounded a bit creepy. I guess
in the documentary he does talk about it. He was like, I was just so stressed, and he was in a world of hurt at that time.
So spoiler alert, it wasn't him.
No, it wasn't him.
Okay.
No. At one point, human remains were discovered, but they did not belong to Elizabeth.
Oh, God. Imagine that moment.
I know. Despite the setbacks and false leads, the family never gave up hope. All of the brothers of Ed's underwent polygraph tests, which ultimately came back inconclusive. Given the immense pressure they were under, the shock, the grief, the lack of sleep, it all seems pretty unsurprising.
Yeah, of course.
The Smart family questioned the validity of the tests, pointing out that the sessions lasted for hours and were conducted while they were exhausted and highly stressed. In the end, the brothers were officially ruled out.
Oh, thank God.
During this time, Mary Catherine felt profoundly isolated. Police asked that she not speak to anyone in order to preserve her memory of that night.
Oh my God, she's 9.
Leaving her alone in a room for around 9 hours. She wasn't allowed to watch television or even talk to her parents.
I feel like, I don't know psychology or, police tactics or child psychology or anything. But as a layman, I would think...
It seems very cruel.
It's cruel, but that I also kind of look at that and go, that could kind of convince a child to go, I'll just say something so they let me go.
Exactly, and I think that's when you get a lot of false confessions and things as well.
Yeah.
Eventually, officers permitted her grandma to sit with her. Investigators repeatedly interviewed Mary Catherine and even attempted hypnosis, but she was never able to identify the intruder by name at that stage.
Little girl.
Still, other suspects emerged. A local milkman reported seeing a suspicious man a few blocks from the Smart family home. That individual was identified as 26-year-old Brett Michael Edwards, who was already known to police due to an outstanding warrant for fraud and for assaulting a police officer the previous month. However, after questioning, investigators ruled him out.
Oh, God.
The physical description simply didn't match. Edwards was far taller and heavier than the man described by Mary Catherine.
God, there's so much pressure on Mary Catherine's memory as well.
It's all on that, really. There's no evidence. Lead investigator Mick Fennerty was able to soon find their next suspect. The Smart family were having renovations on their home, and under the list of contractors was a man by the name of Richard Reese. He had a criminal record, including burglary and attempted homicide.
Oh, God.
So no surprises there that some alarm bells started ringing. There was some kind of blow-up at one point between Richard, who was a contractor on the house at the time, and Ed Smart.
Like a tradie.
A tradie, yeah. At the house one day over money. And after this, Lois reported that she had stolen jewellery.
Oh, no.
So it was like, where are they? These items were actually later recovered at Richard's house.
Oh, no.
So the theory was that Richard knew the inside of the Smart family home pretty well, since he had actually worked there.
And potentially had beef with the dad.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
And this plan was to break in and steal jewellery, but then he realised that Elizabeth had seen him and that she would identify him, so he took Elizabeth to cover it up. While in custody, Richard admitted to stealing from the Smart family home and acknowledged that he had learned about Elizabeth's kidnapping through the news. He was adamant, however, that he had nothing to do with the disappearance. During police interviews, Richard grew increasingly kind of angry and distressed. He insisted the real perpetrator was still out there and repeatedly denied any involvement. Despite this, investigators became convinced they had their guilty man. Case closed in their minds. But according to the only eyewitnesses, Mary, Catherine, Richard was not the man that they were looking for. Richard's face was actually on TV, on the news at the time.
Oh, wow. They released.
They released, that he was a suspect.
Wow.
And Mary Catherine turned to her dad and said, it wasn't him. Why do they have him?
But didn't she not see his face?
Yeah, but she knew his voice.
Yeah, but he was a tradie in the house. I mean,
Yeah.
assuming it's not him if you're saying this.
Yeah. No. So she knew right away it wasn't him.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The investigators, the investigation kind of continued after that, but, it wasn't as thorough because they thought they had their person.
Yeah, okay. You hear about that a lot, don't you? Where people say they had all their eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
And because of that, oh, God.
It was almost like they were going to pin it on him no matter what. Then on July 24th, something chilling happened.
July 24th. So that's like what, kind of almost...
Yeah, what's that like? Yeah, I mean, it was happening in June. So,
far out. Nearly 2 months later.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Elizabeth's cousin woke in the night to a loud bang. Moments later, she saw a knife cutting through her window screen. She screamed and the intruder fled. When the police arrived, they found a cut screen and 2 chairs positioned outside the window.
Oh, my God.
Just as they had seen at the Smart family home. Was it a copycat? A prank? The detail about the chairs had never been released publicly, strongly suggesting it was the same person. But police remained fixated on Richard Reese. Investigators noted significant mileage on his car the night of the abduction and even offered him immunity for unrelated crimes if he would explain it.
Oh, wow.
Richard refused.
I mean, what's the point offering immunity for other crimes?
I know, if you're going to go away for life.
You're done for...
Yeah, exactly. As time passed, pressure mounted, but he continued to deny any involvement over and over again until the day he died, just 2 months after Elizabeth's disappearance.
Oh, shit.
In August 2002, while being held at Utah State Prison, Reese suffered a sudden brain hemorrhage and collapsed in his cell. He was rushed to hospital and placed in a coma. Despite emergency surgery, doctors determined his brain injuries were irreversible. On August 30, 2002...
That's my birthday.
It is. Reese's family made the decision to remove him from life support. He died at the age of 48.
I'm really sorry. I just said excitedly, that's my birthday. Sorry, that's awful.
It has since been suggested that the extreme stress he was under contributed significantly to his death. In fact, his widow, Angela Reese, publicly defended him after his death, saying he was wrongly suspected and known by family and friends as a kind person.
Well, hang on. Didn't you say he was done for attempted murder?
Exactly. But, he was under this for... I think I put an undue amount of stress on him.
Okay.
She spoke about the toll the intense scrutiny took on him.
Which, of course, it would if you're not guilty of something, but...
Yeah.
Still tried to kill someone at another time.
Well, yes, yeah. Years later, some reports noted that Reese's widow struggled emotionally after his death, including a reported suicide attempt many years later.
Oh, God, that's awful.
And I think she actually did end up taking her own life.
Oh, no.
Although details about her passing are limited through these accounts. In later years, Reese has sometimes been referred to in discussions about investigative errors and the emotional cost of high-profile cases, but official records and police conclusions confirm that his death ended any direct link he might have had to Elizabeth Smart's actual abduction. So it was ruled out, obviously, that he wasn't the person after all of that.
Sorry, what do you mean? After he died?
Yeah, after he died, they
ruled
went,
him out.
okay, no.
Because he died, or just they ended up clearing him?
They ended up clearing him, but it was sadly too late. Elizabeth's family did not believe that Richard Reese was ever the person.
Because they just had so much faith in their daughter's recount.
Yeah,
of it. Wow.
Exactly. Oh. One day in October 2002, Mary Catherine approached her dad and said she knew who it was. She knew who had taken Elizabeth.
What?
Yeah. Mary Catherine was reading a copy of the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, my God. The 2002 is the Guinness World Records book that I have.
Oh, it's
There was
so
something
good.
like, I don't know if it was that age, because I'm about the same age as Elizabeth. I don't know if it's that age or if it was maybe just that time in the world. I was upset. Like, that's all I wanted for Christmas that year.
Oh, it's so cool. Mary Catherine was actually reading a book of Guinness World Records when the memory suddenly came rushing back.
What?
She realised she had recognised the voice that night, and now at last she could put a name to it. She turned to her father and said, Emmanuel. Ed, her father, was confused at first.
So am I.
He didn't immediately recall anyone by the name of Emmanuel. Then it hit him, and the realisation stunned him. He called his brother and told him what Mary Catherine had said. His brother was equally shocked. Mary Catherine had remembered a name. But the question remained, who was Emmanuel?
How would she just remember the name? Had she seen that name in the book
Something sparked a memory.
Something?
Yeah, either from seeing a face, I don't know, a name in the book or whatever it was. It triggered. You know how that can work. It's whatever triggers your brain in that time. Manuel was a homeless, deeply religious preacher who had previously been to the Smarts family home.
Oh.
Out of kindness, Lois had given him some money and offered him some renovation jobs, believing he was harmless and wanting to give him an opportunity. Mary Catherine had only encountered him briefly, but his voice had somehow stayed with her. Despite this revelation, police continued to focus their attention on Richard Reese at the time that this came up and largely dismissed Emmanuel as a serious suspect. So
they were kind of saying it was Richard Reese.
It probably was,
so
yeah.
That almost makes it even easier
to pin it on him. Months later, with no movement from investigators on this lead, the family took matters into their own hands. Believing their daughter, they went to the media, pleading for public help.
The family went to the media.
A sketch was released, though it wasn't an exact likeness. Emmanuel's appearance had changed significantly since then, and Emmanuel turned out it wasn't even his real name.
Oh my God.
Still, the description of a wandering religious preacher caught the attention of a crucial person, his sister.
Emmanuel's sister.
She recognised him as Brian David Mitchell.
Oh my God. Hang on. Wait. So, this homeless preacher has rocked up at the Smarts door one day and them being a beautiful family gave him money and offered him some odd jobs to give him money.
Yes.
And then Mary Catherine has remembered his voice and his name has popped into her head one day.
Yep.
And so they've gone, the family's gone, we believe it's this person called Emmanuel.
Yes.
Done a sketch of this person they knew as Emmanuel. That sketch has gone on the news and Emmanuel's sister has seen it and called police and said he's not Emmanuel, his name is Brian David Mitchell. Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's actually bonkers the way this happened because that's so unheard of to ever happen like that.
It could also be that could be a false memory. That's so
Exactly. But I don't think he had gone to the house to ask for work. I think she had actually seen him out preaching and begging and asked him back.
Okay,
yeah.
well.
Brian had grown up in a strict religious household. From a young age, he displayed troubling sexual behaviours that followed him into adulthood.
Oh, no, I don't like where this is going, Sammy. No.
He began abusing substances and while in counselling met a woman named Wanda Elaine Barzy, whom he later married. Together, they embraced extreme religious beliefs. Brian rejected mainstream church teachings and began to see himself as a saviour.
Oh, no.
One who believed he was entitled to take multiple wives.
Oh, Sammy, I don't like where this is going. I would like to end it here.
He and Wanda adopted a cult-like appearance, often wearing white robes, with Wanda covering her face.
Oh.
Because of his striking appearance, Brian was relatively easy to spot.
What did he look like?
Well, he had a big beard and he had a white robe, like he wore a full white robe. Yeah.
You just said they wore long white robes and I'm just like, why was he?
Yeah. I don't understand. Together they embraced it. Oh, yeah. So because of his, the white robe and everything, quite easy to spot, reports of sightings actually flooded in at cafes, restaurants and on city streets. But each lead ended in frustration. At one point, Brian even attended a house party to preach. With him
Cool house party, man.
were Wanda and a very young girl.
Oh, my God.
One man at the party noticed the girl and tried to speak to her, but Brian abruptly shut him down, insisting she was not to be addressed. Was she Brian's daughter or was she Elizabeth Smart?
Oh, my God.
As the weeks turned into months, Salt Lake City held its breath. Elizabeth's face was everywhere, on television screens, posters and flyers. Thousands of tips poured in. Everyone had to be followed. Everyone carried the fragile hope of finally bringing her home. As the search dragged on, psychological profiles were drawn up and investigators began asking the most painful question of all. Was Elizabeth still alive? In truth, Elizabeth had been seen multiple times during her captivity. On one occasion, police officers encountered her in a public space, a library.
What?
Brian Mitchell claimed she was his wife.
Wait, actually her?
Yeah.
Oh my
Elizabeth stood silent, paralysed by fear of what would happen if she spoke. The officers accepted the explanation and let him go.
And they didn't recognise her?
No. She was actually wearing a robe and covered her face a lot of the time.
Oh, shit.
The moment would haunt the investigators for years.
Oh, God, it would for your life.
Days after, a sketch of the suspect was released. The San Diego Police Department arrested Brian Mitchell for breaking into a church at the time.
San Diego?
Yeah. He appeared in court on charges related to property damage and was released.
What?
At the time, San Diego authorities were unaware that a person of interest in a major abduction case in Salt Lake City.
No, God, we hear about this so
know.
often, particularly in America. It feels like a thing they just don't.
They don't communicate between departments.
Oh, my God.
Later, there was another sighting, this time again in Salt Lake City. The young girl with Mitchell was clearly disguised, wearing a grey wig and sunglasses. Mitchell provided false names for all three of the people.
So what, him, Wanda, and
So him,
Elizabeth?
Wanda, and this person. Yeah, and officers immediately suspected something was wrong. One officer pulled out a flyer with Elizabeth's photo and asked if it was her.
No, when she's there.
Elizabeth denied it at first, insisting she wasn't the girl they were looking for.
No.
She'd been missing for 9 months.
Oh, no.
When she was briefly alone with an officer, he continued to press her gently, asking who she really was. Eventually, Elizabeth gave her name. Even then, she worried what would happen to her captors.
Oh, my God.
Elizabeth Smart had been found.
Oh.
Elizabeth was finally safe, home, and reunited with her family.
What?
Only then did she begin to tell what happened.
Oh, I don't think I want to know. So what, they were walking down the street.
And someone called in and said, I think
this
I'd
looks
seen
like
him.
the guy on
Yeah.
the news.
On the night she was taken, Elizabeth was held at knife point by Brian. He forced her up into the mountains behind her family home. They walked for miles, climbing to the ridge and descending down the other side. In the documentary, Elizabeth later recalled repeatedly asking if he was going to rape and kill her. If she was, she hoped it would be close to home so her parents would actually be able to find her.
Don't. She had that thought.
Yeah,
That
as it
is
was happening.
absolutely horrendous. Like, proper horrendous. That is harrowing.
Brian eventually led her to a small grove of trees where he and his wife were living. A small clearing had been made with a tent pitched there. Inside, Elizabeth was forced to remove her clothes and was washed with a sponge as part of what Brian described as a cleansing ritual.
Oh, no.
She was then made to put on a white robe. She was brought before Brian, who told her they were now married and that she was his wife. He said the marriage would be consummated.
No.
That night inside the tent, Elizabeth was sexually assaulted while being threatened. She later said she wished it would all end in that moment. In the Netflix documentary Kidnapped, Elizabeth Smart, she speaks about how young and innocent she was at the time, only 14, with little understanding of sex or what was happening to her. From that point on, survival became her only goal. Elizabeth later explained that something inside her shifted. She would do whatever it took to stay alive. She followed orders, endured, and focused on outlasting her captors.
Oh, God, any of these stories I hear, I cannot imagine that strength.
My God. Day in, day out, not knowing when it's going to end. Brian David Mitchell and his partner, Wanda Barzy, forced Elizabeth into kind of a nomadic existence, moving through foothills, sleeping rough, and isolating her from the world. Mitchell used fear, religion, and ritual to maintain control, preaching a distorted belief system and convincing Elizabeth that escape would result in death, hers and her family's. She was renamed. Her identity was stripped away. Freedom flickered in front of her like a mirage time and time again, but reaching for it could mean death. Not just for her, but for everyone she ever loved. Months passed, leads dried up, media attention faded, and the case edged closer to becoming a cold case. All the while, Brian's plans grew darker. He spoke of taking other children as his wives, even Elizabeth's cousin, which he attempted to do.
Oh, so that was real.
Yeah.
It was actually him.
That was actually him.
Oh, God.
He'd even talked about returning for Mary Catherine, Elizabeth's younger sister.
Oh, what the fuck?
Behind the scenes, detectives remained deeply unsettled. The image of the roadman refused to leave them. Then came the call. At one point, Brian decided to leave Salt Lake City and travelled with them to San Diego. He begged for money to buy 3 bus tickets for all of them. While there, Elizabeth began to fear she would never be found. Drawing on extraordinary strength, she convinced Brian to return to Salt Lake City, telling him that God had spoken to her and said they needed to go back.
Oh, my God, that's so smart.
Brian accepted this.
Because she thought they'd be more likely to be
To be
recognised.
found there. Yeah. Praising her for finally embracing what he believed was his divine authority. So he had actually, when he was in prison, so he was arrested in San Diego. And he was in prison for a few days and they had nothing to eat, and they were just, LaWanda and her together were just waiting for him to return.
Oh, my God. And how scared she must have been to not even, kind of take that opportunity.
Oh, my God,
to
no
maybe
way.
run.
Yeah. And she was quite malnourished and everything as well. She didn't have the strength. When they returned, a sighting was reported. A roadman travelling with 2 women. Elizabeth Smart had been found. The nation exhaled.
And they're just walking through the streets.
Yeah.
So he'd got this level of
Oh,
confidence.
my God. Yeah. Quite delusional and believed he was the saviour. So he's walking around in these robes and everything. It's just nuts.
And then Elizabeth has convinced him that she's now on the same path.
She understands what he's talking about.
That's
She's accepting
so
it.
smart.
And she
pardon
said,
the pun, but that's really smart.
yeah, she goes, can we need to go back to Salt Lake City? And he was like, thank God you're understanding. If that's the plan, we'll go there.
And then he got confident enough he was walking her down the street.
Yeah. Well, he was doing that anyway. He was
the whole
always.
time.
We went to parties and stuff. It was like, he's nuts. But the question lingered. How had it taken so long?
9 months.
How had she been seen and not saved? What harm had been done that could never be undone? Her rescue had closed one nightmare, but opened another. Justice would move slowly, unfolding in ways that were stranger and more painful than anyone anticipated.
Why? This should be open and closed.
Mitchell's behaviour in court was erratic, theatrical, and deeply disturbing. Repeated competency evaluations delayed the trial for years. Because he couldn't talk in normal ways. When they interviewed him time and time again, he'd just talk about God and the Saviour, and he wouldn't give any information because he was so delusional and was not a well person. Eventually, Elizabeth testified, coming face to face with the man who had stolen her childhood and her identity.
That is so unfair that she was made to do that.
I know. And so strong.
Oh, so strong.
Her composure actually stunned the courtroom.
Oh, wow.
She spoke clearly and courageously about her captors and the years of abuse that had become her life. Her parents, of course, stood by her.
Years?
Yeah, well, the abuse didn't. It lasted 9 months, but the abuse and the trauma of everything.
Years,
yes, yeah.
Oh my God, her whole life, I would imagine.
Oh my God, time had passed, memories had solidified. And hanging over the courtroom was a heavy question. Could justice still be delivered, or had time already taken its toll?
No, I don't understand any of this. Why is this not clear cut?
He was so nuts and not fit to stand trial.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. But
Mitchell was ultimately convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
so, sorry, was there the kind of question mark over it whether he was mentally unstable,
Yeah.
so couldn't be found guilty.
That's right, yeah.
Far out.
Wanda Barzy received a separate sentence after pleading guilty.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. For the Smart family, the verdicts brought resolution but not closure. The case may have closed on paper, but for Elizabeth Smart, survival was not the end of the story. She emerged not only as a survivor, but as an advocate, challenging cultural myths about victimhood, silence and shame, and redefining what survival truly means. Her voice became louder, and the fear that once controlled her was gone. She founded the Elizabeth Smart Foundation, helping to promote the National Amber Alert, the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act, and other legislation to help to prevent abductions in the future.
Oh, my God.
She is actually a strong advocate for change.
Oh, what an incredible woman.
The case reshaped how kidnappings were investigated, how victims were understood, and how near misses were analysed. She attended Brigham Young University, studying music as a harp performance major.
Wow.
In 2012, she married her husband Matthew, and they now have 2 beautiful children together.
Oh.
She is an inspiration that there is life after tragedy. Elizabeth's parents, Ed and Lois, co-wrote a book about their trauma called Bringing Elizabeth Home, A Journey of Faith and Hope.
Wow.
The kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart... Shit. The kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart is remembered not only for its terror, but for its unlikely and unheard of ending. It's a story marked by systematic failures and extraordinary resilience, of how justice came perilously close to slipping away, and how, in the end, a survivor ensured that would not be the final word. The final word would, in fact, be her own. It's not just about captivity and escape. It's about what survives after unimaginable loss. She was taken in the dead of night, carried through fear, silence, and belief, twisted into nightmares. When she came home, the world wanted a neat ending, but trauma does not obey timelines. Her life became proof that survival is not a single moment of rescue, but a long crossing. Like emerging from deep water, lungs burning, learning how to breathe again. Heavy lungs, almost impossible to breathe, and a heavier heart to carry with you. The cage was opened, but healing took years, and yet she strongly and bravely kept moving forward. In the end, Elizabeth Smart did not simply escape the wolf or outrun the darkness. She carried the weight of what was stolen and chose to live anyway. Turning a story meant to end in silence into one that speaks loudly and forever for others. Some cases end with answers, and it gives family hope even today. She was found, but the girl who was taken never fully came home. Childhood and innocence were ripped away without warning. This one ends with a voice that would not be silenced, and that voice is Elizabeth Smart. The end.
Oh, my God. Oh, I don't know what to think or feel. I know how I feel. What an incredibly strong and brave woman. To be
Imagine the
able
age of 14 as well, to redirect your captor to say, we need to go back to Salt Lake City.
But I mean even since as well.
Oh my God.
To use that to then be an advocate, and what an incredible person.
Yeah.
And to then go on and, get married and have children.
Yeah.
And, and I hope that means she's got a lovely, happy life.
Yeah.
Oh, this whole story is just.
I think it really does prove, that you can, the tragedy and the trauma is such a huge part of it. But I kind of think that if your first sexual experience as well was rape, imagine having the level of not knowing anything about sex, not knowing anything about tenderness or love or whatever, and then actually having, going on and having 2 kids and a partner, the strength that she has to overcome everything daily and to just be in society, religion, belief, all of that,
to be able to
everything.
ever go to bed, how do you ever fall asleep?
How do you feel safe in a place where you once felt safe?
I know that this isn't the case. But right now I can't think of a kidnapping case that's not had a ransom or anything attached that's resulted in someone coming home.
Yes. Yeah, and I remember they were kind of, the story was kind of likened early days before they found out anything to John Benet Ramsey. They were thinking it was an inside job.
When you
She'll be somewhere in the house or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they did think that at some point.
When you very first said they were treating the dad as a suspect, that's what I first thought of.
Yeah.
But I can't, tell me if I'm wrong or I'll think of ones afterwards, but I can't think right now of a case of a child kidnapped that's then come home.
Not for ransom, no. And also, like, they walked miles from the house to the woods, and at one point she could hear her name being called. And she wanted to scream out, she wanted to do something, but she couldn't. And so they were searching around the area. Yeah. But I guess in that circumstance, because they thought, the dogs actually found the trail. The dogs found the trail, and then they thought, oh, no, it's ended here or something, because obviously it went into the woods, but maybe the scent broke or something or whatever it was.
Maybe that's when they bathed her and changed her.
Perhaps. Yeah, but the dogs lost the scent, so they thought, oh, a car's taken away. But the dogs were onto the right.
The dogs were like, no, she's here.
She's here. And if they kept going, they would have found her. But they would have had to walk miles through the woods to find her. But yeah.
Okay, so I have some questions. Why her?
The only explanation really is that he met her and saw her.
Just got a fascination with her or something.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Another question is...
I've been well, thank you.
Have you been well?
I've been well.
I don't know. This probably wasn't answered.
This is a rapid fire question round.
If he pleaded not guilty, I suppose we probably don't know. But did he ever explain whether he was looking for a wife and chose her, or if he met her and got a fascination with her?
I don't know. Yeah, please write in if you know that. He was looking for wives. He was going. That's why he went to the cousin's house. He was going to take as many women as he wanted.
Another question. Wanda, did she end up pleading guilt? Did she kind of come out and say, I was brainwashed as well and I was coerced?
I don't know. I think she was brainwashed, but she also went along with his beliefs. I think kind of fell in love with him for his saviour-like beliefs.
If she pleaded guilty,
it kind of means she snapped out of it, doesn't it?
Yes, but it also, we've talked about Fred and Rosemary West and the Barbie and Ken killers. The females in both of those stories ended up saying, I'm not guilty because I was coerced and brainwashed.
Yes, okay.
But if she's pleaded guilty, that kind of, that goes against at least what those two
Sure,
examples.
Yeah. I don't really know. I found it really interesting. I didn't want to go into too many of the details of those two, because I didn't really want to talk about those two so much, but more about Elizabeth, because I just think, her story is quite incredible. And also Mary Catherine. You think about Mary Catherine, you go, holy shit, her younger sister, 9 years old, that one day just went, I know who it was.
And that her family believed her wholeheartedly.
Yes, yeah.
Because far out, the memory of a 9-year-old, like we were saying, it could be that she's just thought, I just need to say someone so they stop asking me, or so I look like I'm helping. How incredible for her to have remembered that, but also for them to go, yes, we are believing you.
Yes, yeah. And it is, it's just such an unheard of story to be that she comes back 9 months later.
9 months.
And... just has to, there's footage of her when she says her dad for the first time. And it's heartbreaking. That's in the documentary. The documentary is worth watching. It's not the best documentary of all time, but it's interesting to watch.
Is she in it?
Yes, she's interviewed
wow.
in it. Yes, that's what's incredible about it. She's interviewed. Mary Catherine's interviewed in it. Her dad's interviewed. Her mum is not interviewed in it. But I think she's kind of stepped away. As far as I know, she's kind of stepped away from media and everything after.
I did find it interesting when you said that mum and dad wrote a book about their experience.
Yeah.
People have their ways of healing, but that makes me feel a little bit icky about let's use our daughter's captures.
Well, I guess it's Elizabeth is an advocate. She helped with the book, So, there's a photo of those three on the front now. So it's okay. I think it was a way of them talking about and that might be a way of them
getting out their feelings and healing from
exactly.
Trauma.
Yeah.
I just always feel just a little bit icky when people profit off something awful that's happened not to, sorry, no, that's wrong. I was going to say not to them because it happened to Elizabeth, but of course it happened to them. But I feel like since she's the advocate, I don't know, it just makes me feel a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, by all reports, they're a great family and they're really supportive and everything. So they were with her for the whole thing. I feel like, they've written this book with her about the experience to promote. Like, as far as I know.
It could be very much for their healing as well.
Yeah. Well, imagine those two. Like, also like the fact that it was turned inwardly so quickly and it was like, the dad and his brothers are the ones to blame. Tom and Dave, they're the ones to blame. Like, it seemed like it was really, they were pointing the fingers at them until they, met, Reese. And then they kind of went, no, he's the guy. And then.
Which it kind of does sound, it did sound like it was.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
And the fact that it was some random fucking crazy ass cult person, that's never where you would think, like, that's not where you would put your mind.
But like a contractor in the house that had been, he'd attempted homicide and...
Yeah, exactly. Of course you would think.
Yeah, and burglary. Like, they're going, okay, that totally checks out. So you can kind of see where the police were going with that.
Yeah, that's
and then
what
they
I mean,
found, like, the stolen jewellery in the house from Lois. And you go,
yeah.
oh, my God, that easily goes together. But it feels like the scene was just contaminated early on. There would have been fingerprints, probably.
Surely.
Yeah, but they couldn't get any for some reason. It was too contaminated to find that. But that's the sad thing about cases like that where you go, oh, it could have been solved so much easier. But, sometimes it's not that easy.
It was solved.
It was solved, Elizabeth.
She's gone and had a nice life.
After all that trauma.
Oh, my God. Far out. What a story.
I know. If you want to tell us anything that you know about this story, some extra information, please do write in to sammy@justanothercompany.com.au. You can leave us a voicemail. We love those. The website is in the show notes below. Can people follow us, you love?
Yeah, they can on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube at Not Another Crime Podcast.
Hell yeah. Leave us a 5-star rating. Leave us a 5-star review. The more you share this podcast and get it out there, the more it helps us as beautiful, beautiful people just trying to live in this world. And we are. Excuse me.
What?
Are you ready for the mailbag section?
Yeah, I am, but can I really quickly pee?
Of course you can, lovely girl. This is the mailbag. You ready for this? This one comes from Katie. Just a very quick email today. Katie says, my ex-boss is called Kenyon. That is all. Love the potty. XXX. There you go. Isn't that great?
Because in the Clutter family murder, we said we've never heard the name Kenyon before.
Never a Kenyon before. This email comes from Kylie. Hi, guys. I've just finished the anniversary episode with National Treasure Myth and the wonderful Oliver Clark. I'm a bit behind because school holidays means kids in the car and they don't like podcast, little freaks.
Not because we're talking about crimes and swearing.
No, little freaks, yeah. I usually listen in the car, but the comments about Diggs meant I had to watch the YouTube version, and I'm so glad I did. There's just another element of something when you watch. What a great plug for the YouTube channel. Yeah. It's just a shame I can't watch while I'm driving. Well, the police don't seem to like it.
You'll be on a crime episode if you do that.
Anyway, you asked about which guests are our favourites, and I have to say Miff and Oliver are definitely two of them. Yeah. Please have them on as much as you can. But to be honest, I can't think of too many episodes where I haven't enjoyed the guests, although I didn't like the Beth's dead one for some reason, maybe because I had no idea of the story and just didn't get it. Fair enough. If you didn't listen to that. Yeah. You guys are very good at picking your guests. I really do like Scott Williams episodes, but I have to ask, who is he? At first I thought he was the Mr. Ordinary guy, but he's got a different name. Where did Scott come from? While I'm asking questions, can I ask you how you two met? I can't remember if you have explained the origin of your friendship. I wanted to say as well that I love the longer episodes. I like the backstory and little details that we get with the longer episodes. You also asked which kinds of episodes we liked best, whether it's the gory ones or the heist, financial, whatever else crimes. Personally, I like the stories where there's a human background story, which unfortunately usually comes with the grisly murder stories. There's not much of a personal story with the heist, financial crimes, or pig wars. Sammy, I hope you're sleeping better these days. Did you find a white noise that works for you? Keep up the good work, and here's to many more podcast birthdays, Kylie.
Oh my goodness, Kylie.
Isn't that such a thoughtful, wonderful email to come through? Beautiful internet letter. Firstly, I am sleeping a little bit better. I've got rain sounds. I've got all this stuff, Kylie, and it's great. I've got the White Noise app, which I absolutely love. And I've got these gummies that I have at night time, and they make me feel so much better. Just CBD gummies. And they are so good. That's Central Business District gummies. Yes. They are so good. City gummies. They are so good for me. They really, if I take them about an hour before I go to bed, they are just so good. They knock me out. And then I don't like melatonin so much because they make me a bit groggy in the morning.
Okay.
But God, Kylie, these goddamn CBD gummies. I'll chuck you a link if you want them. But yes, okay.
Not
Spawn. So Scott Williams is Will Patterson.
Yes.
So that was his pseudonym when he was writing books. He
was the Mr. Ordinary guy.
Yes, same guy.
He wrote a book called Mr. Ordinary Goes to Jail. We had him on an episode where he told that story.
Yes.
So he went to jail for fraud. And he tells that story about what he did, what he learnt, and who he has become since.
Yes.
What he didn't say in that episode in who he's become since was his real name.
Yes.
So he wrote under a pseudonym.
He changed the name of his wife as well.
Yes, we're not by deed poll.
No. Yeah, that's right.
Our listeners loved him. We loved him, and he loved being part of the pod. So he actually asked if he could come back and tell us a story.
Yes.
And as you now know, he's come back and done that many, many times, and he has said that he felt like a fraud once again. My words, not his. In still going under his writing pseudonym name. So we're now calling him his real name, Scott Williams. So yes, it is the Mr. Ordinary guy.
Yeah.
But if you'd missed the episode where he reveled that would be very confusing.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, we met through a mutual friend called Bill.
If you've listened to every episode, Bill is the one who did the Toy World closing call in the episode about the roof mat.
Yes, he did. But yeah, we were introduced by a mutual friend who kept saying, you've got to meet. Yep. And then finally just put us in a text exchange together and said, you two have to meet. I'm making it happen. Yeah. And Georgia came on a podcast that I did called Confessions. And we met then and then hit it off and have been close-knit ever goddamn since.
It was like within 5 minutes we were like, oh, God damn it, Bill was right.
Bill was right. We're going to be best friends.
And one of the first conversations was when you introduced me to your dog and said, his name is Missy Diggins. I said, my cat's name is Audrey Hepburn. And we went, I think we're going to be friends.
I think we're going to be friends. Are you ready for this voicemail that comes from our good friend Hannah?
Yes.
Hi, Sammy and Georgia. It's Hannah. I only started listening maybe like a couple months ago, but I've listened to so many of your episodes, and I just listened to Sammy's special Wise Along face, and I have to say you got me quite emotional at the end there. I think I'm struggling with a bit of a parasocial relationship with you guys, but I feel like such a proud little sister of Sammy, and both of you. I just feel like I'm just sitting down with a couple of friends, and I just wanted to say that I absolutely loved the comedy special.
Oh, thanks, Hannah.
And I hope that one day I can see you in person when you come to Sydney next. And I really love the podcast and you guys. I've had a bit to drink to get up the courage.
Oh,
to do
Hannah, you're the
pod.
best.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that I love you guys. And yeah, keep up the good work.
Oh my God, Hannah, you are the sweetest damn thing in the whole world.
We've had a bit to drink as well, Hannah. Don't you worry about that.
Never. Oh my God, Hannah, you're the sweetest. And can I say, she's right. Your comedy special, Why the Long Face, which is available now on YouTube.
It is, absolutely, on the Comedy Republic YouTube channel.
Is just the most beautiful show. It's so funny, but it's really touching. And yeah, the end is emotional, and I love that. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, thank you, Hannah. I'm so glad you liked it. That's beautiful, and absolutely in Sydney next time. For sure. But it's just so nice to hear that, Hannah, as well. Like, we love hearing from people that like the podcast, and also when you feel like, we're just putting an extra chair out for someone. That is the nicest compliment that we could have for the podcast. So we bloody love you. Thank you for getting the courage as well to send a voicemail. I know people kind of feel a bit funny sometimes, like sending a voicemail, but just say, it's your friends. just send us a voicemail. We love it.
Hear from you.
We absolutely want to hear from you, Hannah. That's beautiful that you got the courage to send that through. That's lovely. And thank you so much for that beautiful compliment about the show as well.
And the plug.
And the goddamn plug as well. Thank you, Hannah, for the plug. This comes from Danielle. Hi, G and Sammy P. I was listening to The Button Man with Scott. It gives boogeyman vibes, but I would definitely watch the Netflix doco after listening to Scott's haunting description of how it would look. Gives me chills. I live in Gippsland, and I've heard about the Button Man, and the idea of him haunts the hell out of me. But I also hope he is okay after the Mansfield bushfires that went through recently. It's a confusing feeling. It's a big no thank you to hiking in the high country for me. Yeah. I'm a long-time listener, first-time letter sender, and I love, love, love the pod. 5 stars all round. I'm a mum of 3, very busy, boys, and I lost my stomach for true crime when I had kids. Your pod has reignited my ability to not only stomach but love true crime again. It also helps me cope through the parenting fatigue. Your chats and banter are the highlight of my week. I now follow Diggs on socials.
Oh my gosh.
And Diggs loves that. Thank you so much. And I love him, especially the noisy contributions during the recording serious content. Also, he's been very quiet today.
Yeah, because I noticed that that loud, squeaky-ass pig was sitting really obviously, so I hid it under the couch before we started recording.
He brings back memories of our old boy Seth, who was a massive pup like Diggs, all attach a pig. He could have been Diggs' smaller cousin. Diggs would love that. I've especially loved the updates on the mushroom cook case. I live in a town right near Morwell and less than an hour from Lingatha, so very close to home. I don't think I could actually pick a fave episode. Keep the long ones coming, G. They're so good. My recommendations were originally for the Russell Hill and Carol Clay High Country murders. However, with the conviction being quashed, it's a touchy one. So with that, I have 2 recommendations from the Gippsland region.
Hit me.
The Jared Lovison murder in 2020. Jared Lovison. Lovison. The Jared Lovison murder in 2020. A Newborough man who disappeared in April 2020 and was then found in Moondara State Park, partially decomposed. What? Not a Black Panther attack, she writes. Thank you. He was known in my sister-in-law's friend group at school, so very close to home. We all followed a real-time podcast by Rin Nicomano during the search and investigation of his murder. Second recommendation is the 1997 unsolved murder of 13-month-old Jaden Lesky from Moe, Victoria.
I've started writing that one.
Oh, okay.
I've actually started it.
He disappeared whilst his mother's boyfriend was looking after him and was found 6 months later. Although it's probably one I won't be able to listen to. The child ones are too much for me. Oh, sorry about the Lucy Letby one recently. It is a devastating case with a very sad and unsolved outcome. Thank you both for what you do. The respect you give the victims whilst making the content palatable is a real talent. I never want it to end. Can't wait to celebrate 100 years with you when it comes. Love, Danny. And this is her beautiful boy, Seth.
Show me Seth. Seth is such a funny name for a dog, by the way.
You gotta
Show
look
me.
at this picture. Oh my God, you got to
Don't stop holding it back from me. Oh my God.
Look at that Bob.
Seth Bob. He does look like a little Diggs.
He does look like a little Diggs. Well, I think he might be the same. Maybe he's kind of similar size to Diggs. He does look a bit smaller, but
baby
yeah, you're hugging Diggs right now.
I am.
But yeah, thank you.
Danny,
what a beautiful boy.
So yes, I have started doing the Jaden Lesky one. I actually started writing it when I was in Morwell for the Mushroom Lady case.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I was driving past Moe every time.
Yes.
And you've reminded me that I haven't finished it. So I'll do that one soon. But also, I would like to know where you're from. You don't have to tell us. We don't need to.
I'm from South Gippsland.
Yes, because Sammy's from South Gippsland and I lived in Traralgon for a year.
Yeah.
And
Traralgon.
And also my sister has, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
My family.
Yes, there's an area down there where you sometimes inhabit.
Called Nearham South.
Yes, a beautiful part of the world. Do yourself a favour.
Gippsland's gorgeous.
This one comes from Johanna. Hi, Sammy and Georgia. Love the podcast. I've been listening for a while now as I found this from Confessions, which I loved, and went to the final live show, which was hilarious.
Yay!
Thank you. You're the bloody best. Georgia, just wanted to say I love that you love musicals. I'm a big musical fan myself, and my brag is that I saw Wicked in its very early days on Broadway in my first trip to New York.
You better not say with Christian Chenoweth and Adina Menzel.
It doesn't say, but I'm sorry about that. It was amazing. Well, Janet, please do write in again and let us know about that. Anyway, just wanted to say I really enjoyed the Azaria and Lindy Chamberlain episode as it explored more than I already knew about the tragedy. How I really found out about the story originally was from a song by Australian folk singer and retired judge Judy Small, who wrote a song about it called Evil Angels, which is a fantastic song and the name of the film. Yeah. Expressing the outrage of her being accused and put in jail for a crime she didn't do. I also recently saw the movie Evil Angels, but called A Cry in the Dark outside of Australia and New Zealand, 1988. A Cry in the Dark's interesting, isn't it?
That's a better name than Evil Angels as well, because they didn't do anything.
No. With Meryl Streep playing Lindy, in which she does an Australian accent. Yeah. Worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Love you guys and keep up the great work. P.S. For the record, I like the longer episodes as I listen on the weekends, mostly when I'm cleaning my apartment. Kind regards, Johanna Gunn. Johanna, can I just say thank you so much for your lovely mention of Confessions and for coming to the live show.
Yeah.
I love that. You're the best.
Because, Sammy, you've actually just recently released another episode
Yes,
of
I
Confessions.
have. And can I say, at the time of recording, I'm about to record one with Christy Whelan Brown and Genevieve Morris.
Stop it. They're two of the most wonderful women in the whole goddamn world.
Correct. And so, yeah, I'm going to do one a month for a bit. I'm actually doing some shows during the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. 2 shows. Will Anderson, Miff Warhurst and Joel Creasy are confirmed.
What?
For one of the shows, Christopher Hall, Bron Lewis, and I believe Dave Hughes is the other guest.
What?
For the other one. Is that wild? That's wild. I don't know if that's...
You are simply unstoppable.
I cannot be stopped.
Oh, my God.
But if you want to have an afternoon drink at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, it is so much fun just to come to Comedy Republic, have a drink. I'll be there. Come and have a drink with me.
So funny.
And it's just a fun show because it's me reading Reddit confessions over a few drinks. It's fun. It's wild.
It's loose.
And the guests are really loose because I know all the guests really well that come. So it's like, apart from Hughesy. But it's real. We'll see.
I know Hughesy.
Yeah, you know Hughesy. But it's just a kind of a fun vibe. It'll be really fun.
Oh, my God.
This one comes from
Melbourne.
Megan. We've got so many goddamn letters. There's Megan.
Hello, Sammy, G, and Diggs. Megan, long-time listener, second-time speak pipe sender.
We love you.
I'll start by saying I was absolutely humiliated to realise live on listening to the podcast that we weren't all sending speak pipes.
Nailed it.
By taking voice recordings and then sending them as email attachments.
Don't worry about it. I can't say Elizabeth.
26 of us to be doing a link in bio. I thought about sending this one just on like a cassette tape with my kitchen, but who has the time?
Oh God, you're right.
Anyway, this is not a podcast worthy speak pipe as my one about the baby fingerprinting was. Apologies for that.
Oh yes, that was yours.
This is not another phone podcast. Don't worry about it.
Quick reassurance speak pipe to you, Sammy, to say that I was one of the 5,000. I think I was about number 3,500.
Oh, Megan!
Watched the comedy special, was absolutely loving it, enthralled.
Thank you.
In a screen-based coma, watching it on my bed, when it suddenly stopped. And I just want to reassure you that I think all 5,000 of those people would have done something similar to what I did, which is immediately realised that it was obviously an error.
Oh, thank you.
So sad that we couldn't immediately watch the rest of it, but obviously will and did go back and watch the end.
Well,
absolutely worth it. I thought about emailing when it stopped abruptly, but given that 3,000 people had come before me, I thought you'd probably already received 800 of those emails. So just a little reassurance that watching to the point where it cuts out was definitely strong enough motivation
Oh, you're the best.
to want to return, and I'm sure that all those people returned. Amazing show. And yeah, devastating.
There's a part 2 to this as well, which we should play before we talk. But I just love that so much, and it's heartwarming to know that people went back because there was a part of me, Megan, that night that went.
You thought those
people aren't going to go back.
I'm absolutely dying that cut out abruptly. How fitting.
How
It was
fitting.
different to the comedy special in that if people got to the end of that speak pipe and it cut out abruptly, I don't think that they'd be returning 48 hours later to see if the rest included. I thought about starting again, but it's beautiful. Poetry in motion, serendipity, whatever. Anyway, I had finished anyway. What am I doing back here? Just saying, yeah. Must have been super devastating to realise that many people had watched it. And then, it was
Soprano style.
The whole thing. But as G said, how heartening that 5,000 people had watched that much of it already. And I am relatively certain that, like me, the rest of the people that had got on to watching it so quickly absolutely would have returned to watch the rest of it. So, yeah, that's all. Actually finishing properly. Love you, bye.
Oh, Megan, you are so one of
We
ours.
love her so much. She's the best.
That was
How funny
perfect.
is she?
That couldn't
She's
have
hilarious.
been more perfect.
I know.
And also, can I just say, I might embarrass you, it could not be more perfect, Megan, that you've said that, because it was really devastating the night when the special came out and it cut off. It was really devastating, and I have reassured Sammy with all conviction and belief that everyone who wanted to watch it will have come back and watched it again.
Yes, yeah.
But I can say that, and he won't believe me, but someone who actually did that.
Yeah, that's lovely.
He will.
Thank you.
So
I really
that's
appreciate
so
that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it was really devastating when I found out that it was, because the thing was that it was all ready to go in November, and it was all finished, Megan, as well. Like the whole special was there, and then it got pushed back because other comedians brought out theirs first. And I was like very patient about it and everything. And then it was uploaded on the day. And I was just like, oh, why? It's been sitting there for so long. And it wasn't checked and it went up. And then I didn't notice because I was like, oh, I don't want to know anything about it. I just want to kind of sit back and hopefully people watch it or post about it. Comedy Republic posted about it. And then it wasn't until I got a message to say, why does it cut off halfway through? Like halfway through a story. The other thing as well is it's so funny that it goes for an hour and 15 minutes because a special, it usually goes for 50 minutes. So,
And your show went for an hour. So you must have just been doing a lot more crowd work.
I was. I don't know. I just
the
felt
laughs were so big. You had to pause for laughter for 13 minutes.
Hold. But it was so funny. It was just it's never really gone for an hour and 15 minutes before. And so that was the only night that it did. And what I remember of that night as well is that there was a daylight savings clock that was on the thing, and it was an hour behind or in front. So I thought that I had gone way under, and so I kept going and looking at the clock going, oh shit, I've completely stuffed up the show. And then as I got off, I went, oh no, I've gone way over. But it was totally fine with the venue. But it was just so interesting because the show was way longer than it usually is. And I don't know why that was. I looked at the show and I was like, oh, there's nothing really.
All day laughs.
All day laughs. But yeah, Megan, that actually means the world to me that you went back and watched it. And also sent that voicemail confirming that, because when you see 5,000 people have watched it without an ending and you go, oh no, are those people going back?
Yeah, those 5,000 people.
Exactly. So thank you for sending that in. And I just want to do this because this was sent in a little while ago, but we were talking about news reporters making mistakes.
Yes.
Remember a while ago, and Corey sent this in.
He was just 5 years old when he and his 10 siblings sadly lost their mum.
Because I'm an
It is just so...
5 years old when he and his 10 siblings sadly lost their mum.
And then it goes,
It's so funny. It was sent in from by Corey. But it's just so funny when news moments like that happen and people get too excited or too into it or have an excited tone of voice and then something horrible
happens.
Yeah, we love moments like that.
That
honestly.
happened a little bit when I had my snot take on.
Oh, yeah. Very funny stuff. On August 30, 2002.
That's my birthday.
It is. Reese's family made the decision to remove him from life support. He died at the age of 48.
I'm really sorry. I just said excitedly, that's my birthday. Sorry, that's awful.
But we sometimes do that as well in the podcast where we
laugh about something else and then we go back to the script and we go, oh no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so funny. Thank you, as always, people, for leaving goddamn voicemails. Is Diggs having a little dream?
He's dreaming. He's lying up against me and he's having a big old dream. He's twitching and everything.
It's my bub. I've just got him stairs to get up from my bed because of his arthritis and hip dysplasia. He's now got stairs to get up, and it is so funny. Mum and Dad came over and he was showing them the stairs.
Stop it.
He was showing them off the stairs.
What, like using
stairs to
them,
get up to Dad's
showing
bed.
off how he could use them?
Yeah. It was so cute.
Yeah, people usually get stairs for like their sausage dogs.
I know.
Diggs is as tall
of his
as me.
arthritis and his hip dysplasia, like he needs them. But it's so funny watching him get up the stairs. He's having the best time in the world.
Fim.
So you big Fim. Well, they're calling Diggs a Fim. I think it's so funny because that's how he'd talk. But he looks at the birds. Today a bird was having a bird bath in his water bowl.
Oh,
and he was just looking at it going, pen stiff Fim. You're a pen stiff Fim. But he didn't do anything about it because he never does.
No,
He just watching going,
birds are scary.
Birds are scary. But he's going, you pen stiff Fim.
We're going to record an episode at my house soon.
Oh, yeah.
So Paudry can be part of the podcast.
Oh, yeah, should love that. All right, so before we finish up today, let's do a goddamn Paudry peeve.
Yay, you remember.
I remember because I know that you get upset when I start doing my wrap-ups and everything.
Yes, I do.
Before we get into that, so G, what is your Paudry peeve for today?
Right.
Yes.
So, my Paudry peeve today is when online stores advertise, so you get like an Instagram or Facebook or like on the side of the, news website page or whatever.
Yes.
Pops up with like a specific product.
Yep.
And you go, oh, God damn it, I do like that product. So you click on the link to the shop and that product is not actually available to buy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
okay.
God.
It's all sold out already?
Sold out already, or it's like an old style or something that's not even on the website anymore, and they've tricked you into going to their website.
Because they're tricky people. Do you know that?
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah, you do know that
and
now.
That's my Paudry peeve of it.
Oh, my God. I get really annoyed at people who walking, and then as soon as they get to the escalator, they stand still.
Escalators are not for, this is a Jerry Seinfeld joke, but I'm not going to say it right, but like he does a bit about it. The escalators are not just to stand on and be carried down. They're just to make it faster and easier.
And also at the airport when there's
worst,
the
the flat
travelator
ones, they're
and
the
people just
worst.
stand on them.
It's
And
not for
like,
a lift.
What are you doing?
It's not for a lift to the other end. It's just so you can get there faster.
Get there a bit faster if you want. It's so
annoying.
annoying. But it's really annoying, like the trains in Melbourne, like when you're trying to get to the train quickly or out of the train station quickly
Someone's
and
having a rest on
someone's
the
just
escalator.
standing and it's like peak hour and you go, what are you standing for? What do you hope to achieve by all of this?
You can stand in a lift.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
Yes, you can
It
stand
is
in a
hard
lift.
to
That's a
walk
rest.
up a lift.
Have a rest.
It's hard to walk up an elevator, but you can walk up an escalator.
So funny.
It is so
You'll
annoying.
just stand there, just wait, and you can see their heads slowly coming up. It's so funny. Yeah, so that's my Paudry goddamn peeve for this week.
Yeah.
You simply must write in, sammy@justanothercompany.com.au. You simply must leave a voicemail. The links are below in the show notes. G-Love.
You simply must follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Not Another Crime Podcast. You simply must leave us a 5-star rating and a 5-star review. And Sammy must simply thank Oliver Clark for doing the music and Tamsin Hayes for doing the artwork. And we simply must say good night and good luck.
Oh my God. TikTok, BookTok, stars! Bye, everybody. Get a photo of this. It's so cute.